more we get away from God's word, the more we see the dysfunction in it, right? We see stupid commercials on television where women think it's okay to put men down, and where men, for some reason, act like morons. And that's not how King David acted, right? He was a mighty man, a warrior man, and a warrior. And when we look at the Proverbs 31 woman, she didn't just sit at home and wait for the rich man to come home because she didn't want to get her nails busted up. She had a purpose, and one role in her life was to be a wife, but also she was a businesswoman. She took care of her family. She had things going on, and she wasn't all about self. And this is where we really need to get, is that the more about self we are, the less about God we are, because the two cannot coexist. When we look at narcissistic personality disorder, we can see how many people in society are operating with it, right? And so what are some of the traits of those who are narcissistic? Well, I'm so glad that you asked. Don't you turn that dial thinking that you might have it. Somebody you might know might have it, but we'll get them free. Okay, so when do we become narcissistic? What happens? Well, those who are or suffer from NPD have a grandiose sense of self-importance. Notice the selfie stick. And we're warned of this in the Bible. In Timothy, the days are marked with evil. People will be lovers of self, boastful, greedy, bragging, all these things that are contrary to God's word. Oh, well, I have this degree, and I have this degree, and I did this, and I did this, and this is my resume, which is exact opposite of what God's word tells us. So those with NPD, preoccupied with fantasies of unlimited success, power, brilliance, beauty, or ideal love. Oh, because I'm so gorgeous and I'm so pretty that every person that comes around me should look like this and have this, and everybody should just have the abs and buckets of millions of dollars, right? Just for you, because you're so wonderful. This person believes that he or she is special and unique and can only be understood or associate with those that are of that caliber. That's kind of similar to when people say don't date down. If you have the bachelor's degree, don't date the person who doesn't. If you have a master's degree, only master's, PhD, only those. So we kind of put ourselves at a level of esteem that is really false. Because what degrees did Jesus throw around, right? Did he, oh, look at my degree from this and the, give me a break, right? If we're to be like him, look who he spent time with. Look who he loved. Look who he cared for. Look at the lives that he did change, is changing, and will continue to forever change. So looking at that, we gotta get real with what, where, and who we are in him, so that way we can love ourselves in accordance with his word, and then love others in accordance as well. Let's see. The NPD person requires excessive admiration. Oh yes, yes, the flattery. Tell me how great I am. Oh no, you don't have to. I'll tell you how great I am, and then you can just repeat it back to me, right? Okay. Sense of entitlement, yes, because I'm so this or that, I should be given this or that. Totally separate than favor from the Lord. Is impersonally exploitive. So it's just going to use whatever they can get from you to elevate their own status, which really only exists in their minds. Lacks empathy, is willing or unwilling to recognize or identify the feelings and needs of others. So this person's only modus operandi is self and self-elevation for self-grandiosement, period. And maybe you know this person, maybe you're married to this person, maybe you were married to this person, maybe you birthed this person. But looking at this, there's a few characteristics. Is often envious of others and believes that others are envious of this person. So it leads to a level of low self-esteem that is really underneath all of this, and is arrogant, haughty, rude, abrasive, or even verbally abusive. Well, when we look at all these traits of such a person, it's kind of contrary to God's word. We cannot really be loving and selfish at the same time. There's no room for both. You see, if you're spending more